You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan. I am broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call at 952-922-2500.
Are you a member of the Community Associations Institute? For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit caionline.org to learn more. The address again is caionline.org. CAI helps community associations board members by providing online resources, in-person training, and hard copy publications written by association management experts. CAI offers community managers professional development, networking opportunities, and a certification program that is established as the industry standard nationwide. Minnesota has its own chapter of the Community Associations Institute to bring resources and tools from community associations around the country right to your home. Visit www.cai-mn.com to learn more and become a member of CAI today. Your community and management company will benefit from your involvement. Join the Community Associations Institute today at cai-mn.com and click on membership.
We're talking about a very important story here coming out of Ohio. And this was one that we commented on a number of months ago here on the show. And it's a story of a single woman with one child. She went to apply for financing to purchase her first home. She got FHA financing, which is typically financing for people who have had probably not the most sterling of credit, people that don't have a lot of money to put down on a home, financially are still able to buy a home. It's been a great product, and it's been a great resource for a lot of people to use for years and years, for decades. And unfortunately, over the last few years, what has happened is FHA, because of the changes with the real estate market and what's been referred to as the real estate bubble popping and values going down, FHA has put on so many additional requirements of what a HOA needs to do to be approved, to be recertified for as a property that can have FHA financing on it. It's just unbelievable. We've talked about a lot of those criteria, and we'll talk about that later in the show today. But an association in Ohio said, you know what, for a number of different reasons, we didn't think it was worth the value in our time to try and pursue getting reinstated to be a property approved for FHA financing. The woman said, now you're showing discrimination based on family status. And this story is not going away, and you will probably see it now kicked to the feds, and it's going to continue on, and it's something that everybody living in an HOA today ought to take special importance at looking at. What took place here is there was this civil rights complaint. As I said, a condominium association in Ohio was told by the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. Now, the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, after a 6-month-long investigation, even after stating that they've looked at this carefully, they said, their words, not mine, that there was not sufficient evidence of any purposeful intent on the condominium board's part to discriminate. But they had a but. And anytime you have someone who says but, everything they just said, they're just taking away. And what ends up happening is you find out that the Ohio Civil Rights Commission said, well, yeah, we're not going to make a decision. We won't be the bad guys here. We're not going to come down. We don't think there's any discrimination going on. However, they're intimating to the condo association in Ohio that if they don't start looking at pursuing FHA recertification for their property, that this is probably going to be something that's going to now be kicked up to the feds, to the federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. And under Section 8 fair housing laws, they're probably going to be looking at something coming down the pike that they will not want to see. And if there ever was an example of something that is disparate in the differences between the entity known as the United States government and one lonely condominium association, I don't know what is. This is going to have some huge impact on everybody living in an HOA. And what is it? Why is it that they are saying that there's discrimination taking place? Well, as I stated in the first segment of the show today, I think there has been a different set of definitions that are going on in terms of what ends up defining what is and is not discrimination. And some of the things that I think that they are looking at and are intimating as a proof of discrimination, I really don't think that is what's taking place. And as I said before, too, I don't think that all discrimination is necessarily bad. There can be good discrimination, bad discrimination. And like I said before, I know that's a provocative statement, but I'm saying that for a reason. And I'll explain that in just a little bit. But here's the premise, anyway, with the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, and I think with the feds, with HUD as well. They're going under a premise that for this claim of discrimination, they are using a new term today. I don't know if you have heard of this or not, listeners. Have you heard of the theory of disparate impact? Do you know what it is and what it means? The theory of disparate impact. Well, if something is disparate, you know you're talking about two things that are unlike each other. There's no comparison to one another. We're talking about two things that are opposites. And here's the thinking today. FHA is taking a look and saying, well, let's look at this logically. And I don't think that all of this follows logically, but this is what I think FHA or what HUD is doing here. They're saying FHA loans play a more unique role in obtaining home mortgage financing for those people who have little means. And what I mean by that, I explained, if you typically have not a lot of money saved for a down payment, you have had financial report scores that have been less than sterling, FHA for years has been able to establish and be a little bit more forgiving with other criteria and other things that are required. So they say that this person, this individual, can still be a good egg, a good person that we can have someone give a loan to and know that that loan will be repaid over the 30 years until the mortgage is paid for and the house is now theirs. But they say, okay, we know that FHA loans are for people of little means. they take a look at another premise, and what is that premise? That premise is, well, there's a disproportionate or disparate amount of people with little means, and those are people who are members of our designated protected classes. Okay, so typically people with little means, who are they by and large? Why, they're people of racial and ethnic minorities. They're single-parent households, also referred to as family status. These are people who are on economic assistance, and they need the government economic assistance because they have little means. And so they come and they say, okay, therefore, discrimination takes place, we know, when an individual purposely excludes someone else from an opportunity or an option based solely on the fact that they're different. So they're saying, okay, so we've got these people who are different. They're people of little means economically. Therefore, any time something happens in a disparate way, in this case, not being able to have access to an FHA loan, that means, ergo, there must have been discrimination that's taking place, because that could be the only reason for this person not being able to get the loan. Well, is that really true? We're going to talk about that more, but don't go away. We've got so much more to cover on this very interesting and important topic. We're going to take a break right now. Don't go away. We've got a lot more Where You Live after these messages.